in this last trading day of the week. Well, not the actual calendar week, but at least for the futures market being online. We know crypto at least trades during the weekend. We know that it'll be thinly traded. We understand on Fridays a lot of times we get this movement up, and sometimes by the time paychecks come out, it becomes a little bit of a rough stretch. This week, we have an opportunity. Could be slightly different going into the weekend for the first time all year. And in fact, instead of going down on a weekend, there is a possibility that this could be the weekend where we finally get a little bit of desired movement, or we just exhaust ourselves going into the weekend and consolidate. But right now, we're attempting to break out of the descending wedge. I feel like a broken record. We've been talking about this for days and days and days. But that is a bullish consolidation. If it breaks down, it breaks down. But about 80% of the time, 78% of the time, you should break up out of this kind of a formation. Now, obviously, when you're in a bear market, it plays into this to where you get a little bit of a, okay, well, let's prove it kind of thing. So, but if this breaks out, this does not mean we're not going to 86 cents. That's not what this means. The short term is going to try to push that $1.56 descending triangle. And if that never gives back, because we haven't tapped it yet. We came close, like $1.54. But if you don't come all the way back to $1.56 and then retake it, the technical target's 86 cents. If you overtake $1.56, now you've got to work your way above about $1.77 to make yourself feel real good to think, okay, maybe the bottom is in, and we can turn this around into a very bullish movement. Which is why at $1.13, $1.18, if you wanted to buy, you buy over there. If you wanted to take a shot, then if you missed it, you buy the back test of these kind of formations. Now, it's not going to play out all the time in your favor. But what you're looking at is consolidations like this. We talked about it yesterday if you were here. V-chain back testing that part of the formation. So if you missed the initial move, you didn't want to buy all the way up here. But you get an opportunity if you understand the pattern because you know you buy the back test. So instead of buying it at 817, no, you might not have bought it at 744, but you didn't buy it at 817 and you bought the back test at 773. You know, that's a beautiful movement. If it plays out, obviously, but either way, that would have been your opportunity if you missed it on the opening. H-bar, if we're talking the same thing, if you missed it on the breakout, let's say it was at 9 cents, well, you didn't want to buy it at 9.6. You wanted to buy it on the back test around 9.1. That's a big difference. So now if you would have bought it on the top and you didn't wait, and this is a great thing to play with too when you're buying and selling things. If you would have bought it up here, let's just say you didn't buy the wicks, but you bought it on the back test where you planned. Well, just to get back up here, you've already made yourself 6% by the time it gets back to where you could have bought. You're up 3.5% right now. And you bought the actual validation. Anybody who bought it prior is gambling. Unless you bought it on the low support once you realized what was going on there. That it was, in fact, you know, forming some kind of bullish consolidation here. And then it's up to you to interpret what the pattern looks like. XDC, it's the same deal. It came all the way up here. If you would have missed it out of the wedge, it was at 378. If you just waited for the back test, it was at 358. And this is a great thing to pay attention to. That means you saved yourself 5.4%. And now within the consolidation right now, it came up to the resistance. It's moving back just like it should to clear out. But, you know, now you got a couple percent you're working with here. But it's all a game of, it's a cat and mouse game with this market. Now, with the volume portfolio, yeah, it's always nerve-wracking, obviously. But now it's up to the market to prove to you that this inverse head and shoulders is not going to break out, that this descending wedge is a fake out. That's not our job now. The market is telling us right now it's a buy signal until proven otherwise out of this formation. So we'll see what happens. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. If you like what I do, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Greatly appreciate you hit that like button so we can push this content around. I would love more people to hear about the actual charts and not just the fugazi that's going on all around social media. We don't need no fugazis here. We need to know the truth. And the more people that get to see at least the charts, they don't even need to like me. Just at least you can understand, like, okay, we're in a descending wedge. I'm out. Let me go look it up on Google to see what's going on, or type it into my AI. That's fine. But if they don't see it, they won't know. So the overwhelming pulse right now is crypto is just about to break down. Doesn't look that way. Looks like at least there's another layer up right now. We got to do the C. We've done A. I can show you right now. It's a ABC at worst. It's an ABC correction, which means we have one leg up still, because you started A to B. We'll just call it here as a low, and then C would bring you up here somewhere. We'll call it 156 right now, but with the way this set up, it should come up here to 177. If I'm being honest, we should be coming somewhere up there with the way it's set up. I don't think if we come up here, that's the thing. I don't necessarily think 156 is going to stop it. I think we're going to come all the way up and revalidate. Let's see where this was at. This area. I think this area is going to be revalidated again. It's actually a little bit lower. We'll figure it out, the exact number. 177's there, don't get me wrong. But you can't get to 177 before you get past here. Yeah, it's like no, it's not 171, because it might be a little bit higher over the top. Give or take. But you get the picture. So this is this would be a three-wave move. But it's just, ABC is just basically a corrective and a further downtrend if we can't break into a full 5, which I highly doubt with the volume portfolio we could get anywhere past here. So you'd be looking at $1.56 up into this range over here. You could back test a third time. That's $1.65. But I'm still looking, and call me crazy, I'm still looking at that $1.77. And it's easier to see on another chart why I'm looking at that area. Oh, maybe not anymore. But that's the descending triangle. Why did I put a 3 there? I don't understand. What was I trying to accomplish there? I'm trying to say something. What is the point? Where was that even at? I don't even know. But anyhow, that's... oh, it was over here somewhere. 3. What the fuck's that mean? Excuse me. I don't know why I put 3 there. I had to have put it for a reason. I hope I remember. Because I put a 0 below. What does that mean? Anyhow. The interesting part about what's happened with these charts. Remember the drawdown that we put? And this is the other way to look at it. This is the more advanced way with the recent formation. Look how it beautifully is breaking over the top right now. Well, it's actually more like this. I don't know why it does that when I go for my phone. No, I do know. Ever since this update, it's just... Nobody wants to keep hearing about the update. Close enough. I can live with that. But anyhow... So these are bullish consolidations. It's like no matter how bearish we are in our minds, it doesn't matter. Until it breaks down on us, we can go, let's get the stogie. Let's get the stogie out. We only have so many stogies we can smoke until we can't anymore. So I think we're in good shape right now. I mean, not for the grand scale right now, but at least in this C wave, I mean... I've been pessimistic enough. Don't you like when I have a few days where I'm like, okay, guys, you know, like, technically we should be breaking out here. Because normally I say technically, I know it looks fine, but we should be breaking down, and then we do. Technically, we should be breaking up. I know it looks bad, but technically we should be breaking up. See if the crypto fear and greed. I mean, look at that. Nobody's buying this, and look at it. We were at 5 yesterday. Remember what I wanted to take out? We did it. Remember 5? Ladies and gentlemen, we did it. We finally did it. We took out 5. How long have I been talking about that stupid number with all of you? Seriously, for anybody in the audience, how long have I been talking about 5 on the crypto fear and greed index? I said we have to take out 5. I've been saying it forever. We have to hit that 5 and hit it again. We have to hit it. I've been saying it for over a year. That's spectacular. That's spectacular. So, guess what? We've met all of my criteria. It's perfectly set up for a bullish bounce. This is it. Guys, you have to listen when I'm talking, okay? Stop thinking of the macro. This is a short-term movement. If this is an A, I even drew it out. And I am not yelling. We are just having a conversation. And a 3-wave movement, which would be ABC, which isn't even a proper measurement here because I didn't measure the length and I'm not basing it on the rules. I'm basing it on a resistance that's coming across. So technically, you know, you have to look at $1.56 as well because that's the descending triangle. But I'm just showing you an example here. In a 3-wave movement, so ABC corrected. Well, I don't even know. This might be. It depends how you look at this. See, this is where you can get out of hand because is it a corrective wave? Is it an expansive wave? I would say more of a corrective wave on a continued downtrend. But who am I to say? What do I know? Exactly, Walter. That's the point. It doesn't usually increase on the weekend, but it sometimes does. And the entire year, we've been bearish on the weekend. I don't give a rat's ass if it's a weekend or not. I base it on the chart. I don't care if it's a weekend. We can come back after the weekend to cover things or come back down later to recover the gap that's made. If we're bullish setup, I'm bullish. If we're bearish setup, which we've been the whole damn year, I'm bearish. This is a bullish setup, and I'm going to act bullish until I have to get kicked in the nuts, drop down, and pick my dick off the floor. Excuse me. Pick my intestines off the floor because I'm gutted again by the market. So I go with what the market says. I don't go with what my emotion says. So yes, we're always bearish on the weekend until we're not. And then when we're not, we usually have stellar weekends. So nobody's going to ruin my mood today. I can guarantee I can guarantee it. With a little spiciness on top because we hit 5 yesterday. 5. I've been waiting so long for 5 to get taken out because that was the all-time level in the crypto fear and greed. And you know, sometimes you have to make all-time corrections to make all-time movements. Now, I'm not saying we're not going to go to 86 cents still, but what I'm saying is until this breaks down on me, which it, you know, with crypto, what does it usually do? It usually grabs you by the nuts. And then it rips out all of your hope. So, no, I'm not happy we're going into a weekend. Absolutely not. And I know I'm not happy that this is happening on payday because what happens a lot on Fridays? But at least on this Friday, it's showing bullish setups or bullish back test until it doesn't. Now, the entire market could say, and it could rip it out. It could rip our hearts out. And we could get a big sell candle. And we're going to say, I'm going to come back and go, you know what? The continued downtrend, it couldn't even give us a C wave. Forget 86 cents. We may be going even lower than that. But, you know, one thing I'm happy about is XRP's come to $1.34. And it even came down again last night below that area. Like right into that below. So even anybody who was taking out a call op, or a leverage option to the upside, and they're like, oh, it hit $1.34. Not only did it go up, it came all the way back down and kind of bent those people over, depending on the size of liquidity. So I'm even more bullish because that happened. Let's face the facts. What it did last night was great. Not only did it come, and this shows a sign of weakness, by the way, that this stayed up higher, but that's a discussion for another time. But look at, oh, this isn't even, look at that. Liquidity box. because it hits the wick down here and the wick above, and that gave us a 5.27. Anybody who watched this yesterday knows, but it filled this out. And yesterday we talked, the day before we talked, I built this on Bitcoin. If you're new, I built this on Bitcoin. Let's extend it over because this pattern still is extending over. We built it because that's the liquidity zone. As long as it was trading within there, it was still bullish. And we had to see what kind of pattern it formed. And it formed a descending wedge, which is so fortunate for us. But now we have to validate this in the short term and get over that $1.41, retake that area, and overall get above that $1.56. So, you know, right now, the market's going to have to take my smile away, which it can. It's done it before and it'll do it again. So, I don't know. Seems like ABC and we're on a C wave, but you know, I've been wrong before and I'm sure I'll be wrong again. What else was I going to show? Oh yeah, Bitcoin. If you're new, and make sure to hit that like button. Have some positivity because we have so much negativity in this space and so much of a fugazi all around us that just flow with it sometimes. We got to get our heads out of our you-know-what sometimes and just go with it. Be happy. I'm wearing a hat. Be happy. You already know my strategy. It's on the hat. Everybody's, are you in? I've been since the drop because it was a big drop, and we've talked about the ramifications if it goes up and being a part of these. We've talked about if you missed it, where the best spot was. I told everybody, don't buy at $1.41. Wait for this back test. And it went all the way back down to like sub 140 or 134. And the whole market gave everybody a second chance because it always does. There's back tests. You have to back test to move. Everything, if it goes, gave a brilliant second chance. I've been talking about V-Chain, the opportunity sitting there in front of us. And H-bar, man, the triple X Haas strategy, you guys are all going to love me one day. If you don't love me now, you're going to love me later. You love me long time. Then more people will join Tom's Army, and maybe I'll finally be able to get to 50,000 followers or subscribers. Because every time I talk bearish, I lose 300 followers in a week like I did this week. Even though I fought back and gained some back, I talk bearish because it was necessary at the start, but we got to follow the message because it starts bearish, but that's because we had to back test the possibility of some of them breaking out, and XRP just had to. MQ talked about this so many times during the week in the live. Guys, it's going to come back one more time to $1.34, and I think it came back twice, but he even said it's going to come back at least one more time. It has to. There's liquidity there. Guys, if you're not a part of this community, I do this for free every single day since March 24th of 2021. We're making killings in here if we pay attention. Killings. And if you need to know deeper, you can always join the live classes to go beyond just crypto and start from overall the fundamentals of being able to be a trader before you can ever start trading. Let's just put it that way. You'll learn the fundamentals before you ever open a chart. From every angle you could possibly imagine. And some people are like, you're a wizard. I'm not a wizard. I just understand what's going on. I'm not a time traveler. I don't have a magical hat like Frosty the Snowman. Even though it does talk. Look at that. Maybe it is magical. My hat's talking to all of us. Is it going the wrong way today? I think, well, because it's inverted because of the screen in front of me. But why is it going there? I think it's going the wrong way. Even for being inverted. I usually have it coming from the other side of the screen, I feel like. I'll be damned if I know where my phone's at, so I can't change it, but you know. Does everything make sense? I think everything makes sense. I think we know what we're doing. Guys, I don't have the luxury of sitting here at home when I used to have to go to work by accident. Certainly not because of what I make on YouTube, although, you know, it's increased a little bit now that I'm teaching the classes. But the more people that support my venture and support me as an independent worker, like you go pay a financial advisor, you go pay all these people, just support me for $9.99 a month. You'll never have to see some cheap advertisement because the members in Tom's Army are the advertisers for this very show. Notice this live, you never see ads. I never turn ads on for the most part. Now in reruns, sometimes I do, but I haven't in a while. Because it sometimes pushes you through the algorithm, but I have to face it. No one's watching my stuff unless they come in the lives or unless they know who I am. Maybe a few a week find me. So I need all of your help. I need your help. Where's my... Oh, it's on the ground. Look at that. I can just roll over here. I mean, what do we got to do around here? What do I got to do around here to get some subscriptions? Do I got to play some music, some fancy music for you? Do I got to finesse you? I will. Oops. I'll play music for you if I have to. What about my heavy metal players? Please subscribe to my channel so we can keep the lights on. Please, I need to pay. Maybe I missed my calling. Maybe I should go back to the drums. Subscribe. Alright, enough of this before everybody leaves. Maybe that'll get you to subscribe to my channel. Yeah. Just one subscriber. And that's not paid subscriber. I'm talking just subscribe to my channel, please. We're trying to push this. Maybe one day I'll come on and do a drum solo for everybody on my son's electric drum. Drum roll up to 140. Ooh, I like it. I like it. Anyhow, so XRP is just 10 new subscribers. Oh, I love it. Anyhow, XRP, if you're just tuning in, since you know, no one wants to hear the drums, obviously. It's too early for that. But we're breaking out of this descending wedge right now. Dennis says he created another channel to give you lectures. Thanks, Dennis. Thanks, Dennis. But yeah, we are gaining a little bit of momentum here. If you're watching, be happy. Have some positive vibe. You know, we're going to be here for the long track. We're not taking the short game here with XRP. We've been doing this every day for 5 years almost. March 24th of 2021 will be my 5-year anniversary on YouTube. And the beauty of it is I've never missed a day of doing this, which seems crazy. I know it does. But it's why we have to do this. Look at this. This is fantastic. And it's almost like we're controlling the market like a puppet. Dan Marginal, Mrs. Stott, welcome in, and thanks for being in town during 6+ months with the XP Predictor along with GA Stormrider. I definitely agree. I am blessed by God. That is a fact. My brain works different than most people. I taught myself to do that too on the drums. It's pretty crazy. My dad paid for 1 month of drum lessons. I thought they were infinity when I got a Christmas present. Turns out they ran out after a month, and that's what I had to work with. Took me a long time to figure it out, but yeah. If you put your mind to it, you can do it. Anyhow. I don't know, I can move my hands so quick, it's so weird. I always have been able to. I don't know, it's weird. I'm magical with my fingers. Let's see. Scott Lowry, welcome in, and thanks for being in town during 3+ months with the XRP Meteor. I scooped 70K worth of XRP after. Ooh. So you scooped it up at like $1.34. I went on at that exact moment last night for a reason. Talking about that $1.34 level. because it felt like, and I remember even in the 60-second, I believe I focused on the $1.34. I said, as long as that $1.34, I've been saying it for the last couple of days, it's the truth. So right now, I mean, you know, you got to make a decision on what you want to do with your stuff, but I'm sure you're feeling better than not right now, seeing it break to the top side. But I'm not a financial advisor, although I appreciate the vote of confidence. You know, with that amount of money, just make sure that you are in control, my friend. But I'm sure you are. But welcome in, Dower. But yeah, you know, we'll see if it plays out. You know, it's a dangerous market right now, so just be careful. But you know the levels, you know what we're watching for. You know if a $1.34 breaks to the downside that this is invalidated. But at the moment we're breaking out. So, but remember what the rest of the charts did. When they first broke out, they back tested. Now with XRP, we could have that short run, come back to $1.37, go up, or is XRP just going to go right to the 200? With the way XRP works, a lot of times it just goes. With all the Ripple success, do you still see? Absolutely, I see it topping out at 10 to 20, more than likely. That was always my target because of the success. See, I'm not blind to the fact that there's going to be 100 billion total tokens. You know, I know what that means. I know what it means to have like 61 billion in there right now. That means every time we want to move a dollar, it's 61 billion. That means to move to $20. In theory, right now, we'd have to have like a $1.3 trillion market cap. While XRP is sitting at a healthy 84 billion. So, if you can show me where $1.2 trillion in market cap's coming from, beyond that, I mean, I could show you where it might come from the Vostro, Nostro accounts and things like that. But anything beyond that kind of money, that's, I just don't know. Believe me, I would be the happiest person in the world if XRP goes beyond 10 to 20, but I'm still realistic. When most people are looking for those thousands of dollars, I know how happy I'll be at 10. It's 6 figures on 10,000 tokens. At 20, you double it to 200 grand. And we're talking about on a $3,400 investment. You know, for most of the community who may or may not have rinsed and repeated the sale after all-time highs and started buying back their same tokens and then buying other things or buying more. You know, some people started with 10 and now they got 20 virtually because they sold the top and they worked it back in their funds that they already had on the way back down. But I still only base it on that $3,400. I don't care how much we made off of it, but that's what it was in the bear market. And that was the plot with everybody. So that's the point. That $3,400, some people are going to be mad if it hits 100 grand or 200 grand. And I look at it, I go, are these people out of their minds? I mean, what investor would tell you that a $3,500 investment that turned into well over 6 figures, because over 6 figures, you know, between 1 and 200 grand on a 35, I mean, pull a couple of those together and you'll never have to work again. You pull one of those together and you may never have to work again because you figured something out. Now imagine if you could have took some of that money and threw it into precious metals before it broke out. Or imagine if, you know, past cycles you bought some other assets that now are doing good. That's why I'm very realistic with all of this. I know what XRP's doing for us. XRP's funded so many things for not just me, but for the community. In 21, we had a bull market, and after we sold, we watched the silver and gold market, then we started buying it when it started bottoming out, and we bought the precious metals. And we had a nice silver stacking series that we talked a lot about that. If you go back in my history. And then XRP's afforded us a lot of luxuries here with other tokens as well. Because of the 23 market, we were able to get a second chance in 24, and I decided to buy far in advance of what I had. I think 1.5 times more than I even owned at 34 cents. But that was a trading bag because I wanted to have a lot more in this market, but I needed to raise capital, and that seemed like a perfect opportunity. And some of us, you know, we've watched XRP, so it's not that we get irritated at some people that say XRP's a scam, XRP's costing us all this money. It's not true. XRP doesn't owe anybody anything. It depends on where you buy. Even now, if you didn't sell from 30 cents to here, you're talking 3 grand into 14 grand. So it's a matter of, and we've been in a specific bear market for better than 8 months, 9 months. It started in January of 25. It got validated around May or June of 25. So to be up, I mean, it's all about perception. Now, the people who bought at $2, $3, $3.50, some people will say, I've been in XRP since 2017 and I'm down 60 fucking percent. Well, no offense to you, Mr. Jones, but you are a buffoon. You sat in it for 7 years knowing that you're the exact liquidity and the reason why it would have to dump 60% after we went all the way back around. But what is being missed is, does everybody miss this? I'm just curious. Do we all miss this just because we want to, or we're so pissed off by XRP that we don't even care about the macro anymore? We couldn't care less. But if we missed the ultimate gravata here, and I've waited for weeks, months for somebody to say this, and nobody ever talks about it. I've gone to so many communities, nobody ever talks about it. It's like it doesn't exist. People don't care. It's like, are we going to acknowledge that this happened? Like, forget the short all-time cup and handle. Forget that Fugazi or Fugazi. Let's get a clean chart. Are we skipping something? I'm gonna knock your nuts off. Because there's one thing everybody's missing. And it's almost embarrassing the more people I see criticize. I'm going to stand up for XRP more than you've ever seen anybody stand up for it over these next few years. Well, until the Fugazi ends, but things are changing. We got to find the chart that goes back far enough that's not all written on. Yeah, I know it seems easy, but it's not. Seems easy, but it's not. Because some of these don't go back far enough. You'd be surprised how many of these didn't have XRP going back to 18. Let's see. I might just have to use maybe the Coinbase one. No, the Coinbase didn't even have it. Look at that. Binance. Because they all dropped it because they're all losers. You know what? I'm going to have to do it a different way. Hold on. I got to find one that I'm not written all over. But I always grab the charts that have been around forever. I know Kraken I can use. So, look at this. If we want to be honest with ourselves, folks, you ready? Remember, this is what I was drawing all back in the day when we were about to break out. I mean, we drew it out step by step. And then it finally happened. We even circled where it could happen. Oh, the beauty. The old days. When nobody would listen. The new days when nobody will listen. It's about the same. Look. My dear God. What is that? An all-time cup and hand? Oh, my dear. It's going to knock our dicks off. If we just pay attention. Forget this little thing. My God. Holy Lord. Did that form an all-time descending? Should we be afraid? Or should we embrace this? Let everybody bitch and complain. We'll just figure it out. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't get stressed out about all. What's the point? You can see it written in stone. Here, let's map this out for you. Don't say I didn't warn you in the future. We're finally filling out what we talked about 5 years ago. That's the only difference. You don't know what that is? That's the sound of real money about to be made in the future. I mean, real fucking money. You think you made anything yet? Oh, you made Want to embrace? Do you want to embrace the reality of what's actually happening here? Now, if this breaks down, we can revisit it, because then we have bigger problems. Bam, bam, descending wedge, all-time cup and handle. Well, Tom, what's the technical target? Well, I'm glad you asked. I am so glad you asked. I'm going to tell you, and I'm not sugarcoating. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We're going to take the measurement from the left side because that's the lower side. We're going to come all the way down here. Again, we're going to break out. We're going to measure the left side because it's the shorter side. 652. What has my target been for how many years? The Hank Hill ass syndrome strikes again. This is the most bullish of patterns in crypto if it suffers the Hank Hill ass. Somebody said it in the audience. You're right. So why is everybody so afraid? Seriously. I mean, I would be afraid if it was inverted. Now, if it was inverted, I'd be very afraid. Oh my God, look at that cup and handle. I mean, that's an inverse cup and handle. That really looks like Hank Hill's ass upside down. But look at that. Now you'd be afraid. Oh my God, we got a rising wedge with a double top. Wouldn't you be? What if I showed you that pattern? Would you be afraid? No, you'd be very happy because it's inverted and look how far it's going down. So why is Tom happy? Why does Tom always say, I know the bigger picture and I'm not freaking out of one single iota? Right there. Because 3,400 is going to be 65,000 when this plays out. Now, if it doesn't, like I said, we got bigger problems, and we'll acknowledge it when the bigger problems start. But we're going to keep that chart so that when people come in and say, XRP's bearish, XRP sucks, XRP's a pile of shit, XRP's this and that, and everything in between, I'm going to say, you know what, guys? You're just not looking at the bigger fucking picture. And that's why you're playing a real risky game if you don't hold it, because nobody guarantees it's going down to 86. I like the big picture. Do I talk to micro? Absolutely. It's more entertaining. If I come on every day and say, okay, guys, let's look at the big picture, it's not very entertaining. I show the big picture for people who will listen. We talk about the big picture. I don't come on here every single day for no reason. I don't love crypto for no reason. I think it's the biggest fugazi in the history of this drop because we know we've got the midterms coming up. Obviously, it's going to go up by midterms. It has to. They ran on crypto. If crypto was dying during midterms and not putting in new highs, in most cases with the big boys, they're going to get roasted. Each and every one of them Trumps. They're going to start with Trump and put his nuts in the nutcracker, and they're going to move on. Because they're going to say, you ran on this and the crypto's at the worst it's ever been. You think it's by design that the weekly's the most oversold we've ever seen? You think it's by design with the 5? I'm so happy right now I could cry. I haven't been this happy ever in crypto. Ever. I know what's coming. I feel it. I feel it. Do you feel as good as I feel? I told you, I'm letting all the demons go away, and I don't care anymore. What happened the other day really opened my eyes to where, speed, who cares? Just let it out. Anything. And is it ironic that I'm talking like this and the charts are moving up? It's almost like when Tom becomes positive, the charts move. Who's more direct than I am? Who's more honest? I don't charge you anything for this unless you want to learn deeper. If you want to learn in a classroom setting, through Zoom, but I show you it through YouTube so you don't have to pay for Zoom. It's a brilliant setup. I encourage you to learn deeper. I encourage you to learn why you're trading. That's what the classes are for. Hi, Julie. Oh, Julie needs my long arms of the law. I need to grab her something from the upper cabinet. She can't help that she's shorter. Thank you, Julie. Yesterday when I go on, I'm going to knock people's socks off because I'm actually Polish and they're not going to believe it. You want to relax? Julie wants to relax, everybody. What a moment to be alive. we'll play our game. Sorry, everybody. I gotta take a pee real quick. I'll be right back. Huh? I'm gonna be on for way longer than an hour.
That good of a day?
It's gonna be a good day.
It's a good day.
I have matches. Will you grab that toy, Julie? It's right there. Holy smokes! A $50 super chat. Are you shit? Oh, I'm sorry. Are you kidding me? Wow, who sent that? Dollars. Thank you so much. Wow. See, wow, you paid it forward. You just talked about how you made a pretty sizable purchase at the descending wedge area. You gave me some credit, but you're doing a great job. It's not just me. Dollar says, thanks for your dedication, buddy. Authenticity, vision, and depth in what you are doing. Or what you are doing are rare traits. I appreciate that. I really do try. And sometimes I don't get it right in the way that I put it out. Because I might get a little bit too in your face. But I'm really working on that in 2026. Really trying. But thank you so much for that $50 donation. That is extremely generous. Oh yeah, we're gonna be on longer than an hour today. I'm not ready to leave. I can guarantee you this. We're gonna be on for a little while today. Long enough. Good call. We don't want to trip that wire. I keep forgetting to light this because I'm talking. But yeah, XRP. Right. Sorry, Julie wants to relax, and so do I. Oh!
I told you split your matches.
Never buy your matches from the dollar store, Julie. Can I see the ashtray, please, before I set myself on fire? Which wouldn't be the first time. Thank you. I'm back, Tom, dealing with personal issues. I'm listening, my friend. Oh, I'm so glad to see you in here, Tanya. Welcome in, love, and thanks for being in Tom's Run for over 3 years with the XRP Diamond Hands badge. Tanya's like our most popular member, hands down. Tanya, I get asked more about you than anybody else. It's not even close. What a crazy world we live in. We don't even know each other, but yet we know each other. It's great. It's a great world we live in. CJ2 Pilot, thanks for being in Tom's Art for over 2 years with the XRP 589 Moonbeds. Hopefully by being in here, Tanya, you can take a breath. You know, I'm kind of relaxed for a minute. Oh, son of a bitch. It went out on me. I had it going, Julie, and I forgot to keep it going. I know. Are you
I just want to catch the house on fire.
Ah! You see how many times it sparked and then it doesn't spark and then it lit? That is, these matches are so crazy. Here you go, Julie. So now XRP's at almost it is at $1.40. $1.41.8. Having a quick surge out of this descending wedge that we're in the short term. I know it looks crazy in the weeklies, but let me get this into a smaller time frame. I got two different areas, but this looks like the corrective C wave, which is good for us. This is to the upside. So we should be okay right now. Like, this really should be okay. We've been saying it all the way through that descending wedge. That's a bullish consolidation. We're in the middle of a three wave, which is a bullish three wave, even though it could just be a corrective wave that ends to a further drop down. But Jake Claver said XRP is going to 10,000 per coin. I want my money back. 10,000 per coin. Yeah, well, I mean, if that's why you invested in it, you're unrealistic. That means anybody who bought one token would make $10,000. Think about it. Doesn't even make sense. That means anybody who had 100 tokens would be a millionaire. You can't do business like that. Be realistic. My big toe has more integrity than Jake Claver. Well, I wouldn't bring him up in my chat. I mean, unless you want to go through all the real truth, but I don't want to go through that. We're not those kind of people in 2026. But my big toe has more integrity than Jake Cleaver, just so you know. Guy hasn't told the truth ever. So I got sued. Go look at the records. It's not sealed. They're unsealed for a reason. But XRP, if you just came in here and you want to really pay attention, XRP's in an all-time cup and handle. And the handle happens to be a descending wedge of epic proportions. The descending wedge in its own right, the all-time cup and handle brings you up to $6.52, which is ironic. Because when we measured this back in the day, we just prophesized that that would be the target. And now just out of here, I mean, this is going to get you back to all-time highs to retest it when you break out of this. So if you think we're bullish now, wait till we break out of this part of it. Oh, dear Lord. The Dolly Parton pattern. I kind of like that. At least at the end of it. So, are you guys worried? Or do you feel what I feel? Just out of curiosity, can you feel what I feel here? Do you know how long we've waited? The Hank Hill's ass syndrome, we call it. Julie said it looks like a butt. She is correct. That is the Hank Hill ass syndrome. And if you watch King of the Hill, you know why. And you see how this is drawn out? We drew it on the market cap 5 years ago. I drew this. Oh, wait a minute. Is it gone on the market cap now? Which one was... Oh, did we switch it because we looked at the target? Yes, I mean, the W's gone, but look, that's there. So I've had that on there. We reset it up for today's terms. Darn it. Should have left one. I already did. XRP, I mean, that all-time versus Bitcoin, too, it's about to go... Everybody go craziness. Let me get rid of all these blue things so you can see what I'm talking about. Against Bitcoin, eventually this is going to go way up. We're going to have a new sheriff in town. It ain't going to be by price, but we're going to control a lot more market cap than we do. I can tell you that much. How would you like when I come on here and say, guys, XRP's at $5, $6? Then you're only 1x away from $12. That's when it gets exciting. Oh, that's when it gets, Julie, that's when it gets exciting. I can feel it. I don't know when it's going to do it, but it's soon. Could be 26.
Sometime this year or next year, year after.
See, nobody pays attention to the overall message. I still get the question every single time. Is it still going to, that mean $1 off the table? No! Are we above $1.56? Are we above $1.77? No. Sorry. We're validating that drop if we don't get past this C wave. So it's kind of a messed up situation here. However, we can invalidate a drop down there, absolutely. But right now, nothing's changed. That is still part of the progressive movement, unfortunately. James, but good question. Sorry. Gotta get my emotion back down. I gotta shove it.
You're just happy.
I am happy, but I gotta shove it back down so that I'm not in everybody's face. So now what's the reality? Up 3.6%. Breaking out of that short-term pattern, and if we look at it two separate ways, one way makes it look like we're way out of it. Now, would we back test like the rest of the market did, which could potentially drop us back to $1.37? Most things we've seen back tested, but as you know with XRP, it doesn't always do what the rest of the market does. Usually when it makes its little break, it just goes. Because it runs around, consolidates, and does what it does for ages. And then it'll have a pretty nice push up. But we're going to need further market, cooperation, which we're getting right now with Bitcoin, up 3.83%. Which I'm not surprised. You're not surprised if you've been watching for any length of time. We've been covering this. We even had for Bitcoin the 9.23% pull down. That was our drawdown that it could stay in and stay bullish, and it came right to the drawdown. It's pretty incredible how that worked out. In fact, it could have been a bigger drawdown, but I said I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings by having it up higher to here because we technically have to break down. So you have a drawdown. Now you could have a draw up. Actually, this would make a lot of sense. I can show you it from the other way now. So remember, whoops. Yeah, this will be nice. Now I can show you this from the other way. Remember how we had, here, we got to put this back to where it was at though. Remember how we had the drawdown when it was up over the top? Now we have the pull up, let's call it. Even if it doesn't break bullish, if we don't give away that lower zone, technically we could come all the way up here and still get rejected, which means almost 73K we could come up to without a problem, which means we have $4,300 to the upside now, even if we get stuck in the liquidity box. Did this fall out? Oh, wow, it worked. Are you good? You got what you wanted? You can put it out.
No, it's
Are you turning your game on?
no.
You should.
Since I can't take it in.
Why I can't? You tried? That's okay. The days are early. The days are early. Welcome to the $1.50. I appreciate, or $1.50. What? To the 141 people that are in here. I seen 141, and for some reason I said $1.50. There's 141 people in here, and XRP was right about $1.41. See, if you guys leave, XRP's price is gonna go down. Look what's happening. But yeah, loosen up the belt. Good eating ahead. Yeah, over time, we should be very happy. And I'm gonna do an episode soon where we base it around this exact part of the chart. So basically, what you're looking for, Tom, how do we know that something's wrong? Well, it's pretty interesting when we talk about that 81 cents or 86 cents, right? Because in theory, with this all-time descending wedge now in the cup and handle, it can get you in there. See, that's at the, that would be like if we got to the bottom in June, it puts you right around 87, 86 cents. Well, right around, actually, it's like 86 cents on the nose. Where's that 86? We just seen it. Actually, you could even go lower, but where's 86? For the purposes of what we're saying, we could get a timeline. So what's that date? June 15th is where it hits 86 cents on this. However, you invalidate this if you can get over that downtrending resistance. So I kind of like that, though. That is a massive, massive pattern forming. What I was showing, you don't necessarily have to call it a liquidity box. It's basically like as long as it trades in that range, it can grab liquidity from either side, and it technically can't break out unless it get past those areas or break down. So in my opinion, I had it on the support side because as long as it didn't break that for Bitcoin and XRP, that it was still very bullish in setup for that C wave. But if it comes down below those areas, well, then you jeopardize and could invalidate and put in some weird small head and shoulders and some things. Liquidity pools are for dipping into. Again, if this pushes up, I don't expect there to be a lot of volume. It's going to be more of a volumeless push up, which would oversee the fact that we could break down again, you know? So I'm not necessarily, this is going to be a subjective one. I don't look for volume on this one. I really do think this is going to be more of a volumeless push up. However, we did get a little bit of a confirmation. It's not a lot of volume, but see how the volume was crashing on the way down? And then as it pushed out, we got an increase in volume. So even here, it was 530,000 at least. We had 3 times the volume, 3.25 times. It's called the Lab 577 Impel Daisy Bridge. These are last ones. Oh, you guys are talking about that. Okay, beautiful. What's the link that ties XDC to the R3 quarter? Like, what's it all called? I mean, I don't know. Is there really? I don't know if there's an actual word that ties it all together. I just know, like, I don't know. That's a great question, actually. I'm gonna have to think about that. I'll think about that. That's a good question. Carl says stairs down over the weekend. Totally awesome said. It's called the Lab 577 Impel Dazzle Bridge. And yes. Okay. And Dazzle literally, I'm sorry, I was reading so many comments at once. Dazzle literally means digital asset, shared ledger, and contains DAML is called Digital Asset Modeling Ledger. Beautiful. Thank you for that, my friend. Oh, my neck. Neck's a little sore. Oh, it happens. Most of the time I'm sitting in this chair. Well, not sitting, but when I do these lives, I am. I'm gonna have to go like this. Have a downward head angle instead of an upward, I guess. Got to get to work. Leaving Boston for good for old Alabama. Oh, safe travels, my friend. Safe travels. And hopefully the workday goes pretty stellar. Pretty stellar indeed. But I appreciate you, CJ2 Pilot. Thanks for being in Town's Army for over 2 years at X3589 Moon Badge, and I appreciate you in the classes as well. I'm waiting. 2017 can't be me. I think I cash out like 30 times from 2018, 2024 before pop. Remember week before the pop, pouring out the signal and pouring everything into XRP, new wave of cash outs. Well, that's how you have to be. You have to be progressive. So you have to go with the flow. So like if you're making from a bear market to a bull market and you've got these incredible gains and you can see because you understand the charting and what ends up happening with, you know, just liquidity and what happens with liquidations and just the wick off and Elliott waves. And if you at least have a small piece of this information, you can start to identify what to do, you know, between the market cycles. So there's not always going to be the opportunity where you can just sell it. In the middle, you have to make that decision when you start to see tops being built. And you'll know. It happens every time. Fear and greed will get up to the very high levels, extremely high. And then when it's bottoming, you'll know it gets to the, And typically in a bear market, especially of this kind of epic, because we're going to go into all-time highs by a long shot with XRP by double on this move likely. Be at least 80% higher than the old all-time high is what I know is going to happen. Before we have to do some significant consolidation. Probably back test from $6.50 area. Probably back to 360 or 375 area. That's probably be a back test. We'll back test 50%, 60%, but I don't think we'll ever give back $3 if this plays out. So the CPI in the USA is a fugazi, is what it is. It's fugazi. It's all lies. Because next month or 3 months from now, they redact these numbers and give you a different one. The one thing that can help drive the market is we had good positive news for us. Now it's being priced in at almost a 70% clip that they think we're going to get a rate cut in the next meeting. That was some news that came out this morning. Which when I seen that, I said, oh, this is kind of good timing. Is it like the markets are predicting what kind of news is going to be ran today? Kind of seems that way. V-Chain's up 3.16%. Oh, not 3.16, 2.28. Was it? Maybe it said 2.16. Maybe I misread that. Unless it just had a look. Oh, yeah, it had a pull down. Okay. We just happened to look at it right before it did that. H-bar is up 2.5, XTC 2.5, XLM 3.4, XRP about 2.8. I like 2.92. I like the one at the top. This one I look at for my official number. Bitcoin's up about 3.6% at 68,601. Bitcoin dominance is up about 2/3 of 1%. Bitcoin dominance, man, continues to be a pain in our ass, is what it is. But we're going to need Bitcoin to drive these kind of rallies. We're not anywhere in the market cycle to be able to drive our own rally. So Bitcoin's going to have to drive it for us. And it's unfortunate, but until the market gains some nuts of its own, where we're on Bitcoin, we need Bitcoin. I can live with that. But Bitcoin looks like it's breaking out of dominance, which means it's probably going to come back up and retest. If I was a betting man, I'd say Bitcoin dominance going back to 60%. You know, pretty quickly here. So we're probably going to get about a 1% gain in Bitcoin dominance, which means 1% bigger of a distribution on this next push is going to be in Bitcoin. However, XRP looks like it's lining up for some of these funds as well because it's going to take some to move it. And it's already starting to move a little bit. It's about 1-to-1 with Bitcoin right now, a little bit under. As you can see, XRP Bitcoin pairing is on about 0.5%. Nothing major. It's always good to have this in your understanding so you can see what's going on. XRP looks fine. Against Bitcoin, it looks super bullish. Maybe not. Hold on. I might take that back. Never mind. Against Bitcoin. No, that's fine. That's a symmetrical. I was going to say, we just want to make sure that wasn't flat. That's a symmetrical. I know, look at that huge breakdown it had, but that for, you know, even if that's not a symmetrical and that was a descending triangle, that was a pretty strategic drop that it had. That's interesting. So now we might have to let's see what's going on here. Because if you take away that wick, which you can't, but it almost looked like a descending triangle that played out now. Well, that's pretty crazy. That's nice. It might not have played the whole way. No, it played the whole... Look at that! The descending triangle played itself out and recorrected. So if you're going to have a drop out... Wow, that is pretty freaking insane, actually. Does anybody realize what just happened there? It actually played that pattern down. It actually broke down early. Like, this was the setup. It broke down like this. It didn't even wait. That is freaking awesome, actually. Look at that. The pattern broke down And an incredible fake out, it looks like right now. It broke down to the, oh my goodness. I was looking at that same flag. Isn't that crazy, A-Man? And thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge and being a very vital part of what we do here. What I do here. No, no, no. We're not going to $6 on this wave. Unfortunately, this wave doesn't even get you to $2, let alone 6. But no, in this cup and handle, when it finally breaks out, Mrs. Stott, because it's in a descending wedge, as long as it doesn't break down and invalidate it, we're set up beautifully going forward. It's just a matter of, do we come down to lower lows? Because in that descending wedge, technically you could go, I think it shows as low as 77 if you drag it as far out as you possibly can. But that's incredible that the XRP Bitcoin pairing had what looks like, and I'm not going to call it symmetrical. I think if we're being honest with ourselves, I think I'm okay calling that a descending triangle. Like, there's barely any upward tug there at all. And then it broke down perfectly. Like, that is incredible. I just got to time this better. I got to figure out exactly how this went. Because I don't necessarily think I like it. Like, it's subjective, obviously. But if you're looking at this as a quick breakdown, because it's squeezed all the way through there. See, I kind of think you can do it like this even. That's what I'm trying to... No, you can't, because it... Look, it validated it coming all the way across, too. Unless that's when it bounced back. No, we're thinking too much now. It has to be like this. It definitely has to be like that. Because you have to connect this. Wick down, wick. That's where it got rejected again. It might have came up artificially, but it wrote it. You know, so... Yeah, that's definitely how it needs to go. I can't even argue that. In the weekly sense, I need it to go like that. Because you broke down from there, and then you have to see where it came back up and where it struggled. So, yeah. That's crazy. I'll continue to say this is a crazy development here. Even if this is a symmetrical, if you don't want to call it what I said, that came down and cleared any of the bad energy. That is insane. That is awesome, actually. And it did it all in one fair swoop in the week. Now, it probably didn't look very fun during the week. That was, oh, it was just a daily candle, too. Huh. They sure are sneaky and finicky. Oh, let's just say, okay, well, something is happening here. Still on the top of it, though. That's the funny thing. Even if you're like, oh, it's starting some kind of channel. It's on the top of it right now. I don't consider that a channel. I think that's too big of a gaping hole. I just think that that was a overzealous drawdown to get rid of some people. Likely because it wanted to back test this area on the move. Even though it didn't come all the way through, it still... What the hell is going on here? That's not even... Ah, whatever. Close enough. It's not even worth it. We're so far past there. Will we go to $1? Maybe. Maybe. That's how it's set up right now, unless it gets invalidated. Yes, we'll go sub $1. And even if we look at the all-time pattern, it doesn't save us from not going to $1 and below. If we fill this out the entire way, because this descending wedge into June gets you to 86. But if we fill this all the way, technically you can get to like 77. You can get to 77. Like, worst case scenario, this plays out the entire way and you get to 77. And on one of our charts, it shows 77. So, and that would get you to August of this year. So, yeah, it could be a 3 to 6 month wait, but there are opportunities that come in the expansional. Like, think about every strong wick pull down, what ends up happening. Strong wick, pull back, further breakdown. Strong wick, pull up. Does that mean it comes back up and tests this? That's why I keep saying that $1.77 by the time we get there, it'll probably be, well, maybe it'll be up here farther, though. It depends when we hit there. But ultimately, if you get over this wedge, oh boy. Lord have mercy. Once you break over that, I'm officially mega bullish. FYI. Once it gets over this, I am mega, mega, mega ultra. You have never seen it before bullish. In the macro, not just the, I mean, in the moment, out of the moment, before the moment, after that, in there, you know. It would be in perfect timing for the midterms. Absolutely. Now they might draw it up a little bit, you know, obviously prior to when they start talking about it, so that when they start running the ads, they can go, look at cryptocurrency, how much it's pumping. Trump came in. And do you really want to switch from this narrative of us being progressive, yada, 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 so on and so forth? Keep voting the Republicans in. I think it's all nonsense. It's all fugazi. It's all, I wouldn't wipe my ass with any of that, but the politics. I don't give it any attention except the fact that I need to look at how the markets are going. That's it. It's the attention I give it. So, as we wind down here towards the end of this live, remember, if we're going to continue this breakout, which looks fine right now, it looks like we're putting in that reversal in the daily. Right, looks pretty nice as of right now. In the futures, it looks fine. In the chart, it looks fine. What can happen here now in the 4-hourly, or even beyond, is we could end up finding ourselves coming back down here to about, on this chart, it's suggesting like $1.36, $1.37. It's the back test. You know, we watched every other chart do it already, so unless XRP is going to do its own thing, $1.36.6 if it wants to come back there. So you could argue that maybe on the weekend we'll straddle this for a little bit and then we'll break out, or we're just going to continue going now. So that's what we have to look for. It already got up to $1.42. Now it's retracing a bit. So that's where we're at right now. 30-minute looks fine. We have to see if the volume can now sustain and pull up. It was decreasing a little, but you could see a little bit of sustainable volume that was coming in comparative to what was here. It was just like the sell volume here. Then we didn't have enough to push us farther down, and now we rounded out. Now we need to see if we have enough to pull us out, or if we have to come back and test somewhere around here. This would say anywhere between $1.36.6 and $1.37.7. Seems like that could be it. Oh, you're welcome, everybody. You're welcome, Mr. Stott, and thanks for being in Tons on 6+ months with the XP Predictor. Lung snacks. I appreciate that. That's cool hat. Yeah, thank Julie. She bought me a pretty cool Christmas gift, I must say. Wasn't expecting it. Pretty cool. Relief rally, dip into the run. I could see that. Could see that. But we'll see. I'm hopeful that XRP continues this movement along with the rest of the market for this C wave. So that's what I'm hopeful for. I'm gonna play a little bit of music on the way out. I would hope some of you would hit that subscribe button. If you want to show support, you can always join Tom's Army. Pay it forward for what I do. And, you know, become deeper entrenched into my community. But I'm going to be going, but I'll just play a little bit on the way out. This is just my son's little electric drum. What does that say? I'm going. Sounds cool, but longer the wait, the better. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, yes, yes. Hey, there's no reason we can't watch the chart with a little bit of music still. But my throat is a little like, you know, if I'm going to do this, I got to have a little bit of something. And most of you probably don't even know I can play the drums. But XRP's back over $1.41. Why is everybody leaving? Everybody only wants to hear me talking? They don't want to listen to the music. No, I'm just kidding. I would be leaving too, to be honest. Kitty, you're gonna get hit by the drumstick. My cat almost, she walked over this little thing. Look at, we're working XRP up. Come on, we just got to keep playing. I'm weeding everybody out. Yeah, what you want to there? Let's see, $1.4150. I mean, we're looking really good right now. We want to see some volume in this 30-minute. So far, we've got 157,388, 425. Yeah, so we want to see an improvement here. So let's see. Let's see if we get some exhaustion or we have some continuation. That's what I want to see. What do you think's going to happen? Needs to retest $1.38. Could see that. Could absolutely see that. They always say XRP to 10,000. I only have 3 things to say. Or is it? Symbol. I don't know. It's been a good live. It's been a good live. I was just gonna do this to unwind anyhow. So I figured I'd keep this on. Maybe I can move so that you guys can see the birds outside. I wonder if it would show up. Oh yeah, there's squirrels outside, but it's kind of sunny outside. I don't know if it'll show up. Or I can show you the actual drums. Nah, that won't work because the screen is so damn small. Can you see the birds? Oh, there we go. I wonder if you can see the squirrels. Where are they at? Oh, they're in the middle one. That's gonna be a little bit harder to see. I'll throw some peanuts over here so you can see them. Maybe the birds will come down too.
Press the drum style button to change the drum sounds.
They almost ran in the house. It was like a great migration. You should have seen all. It was like a great migration over here. They all ran. They were about to run in the house. You might want to see that more than anything else. Horse Teeth Claver said we'd all be millionaires last year. Well, you know, you get what you pay for. I mean, basically, this is how I equate most people when I watch them on the charts. This is what they can do on the charts. Don't I sound good? I'm a good drummer. I can read the charts. This is everybody. This is how good they can read the charts. Or how much truth they give you. When you come in here, you get... There you go. Look at me. You come in here, you get... No, not on you guys. Influencers. Influencers. The typical person. I'm just kidding. This is my brain. This is everybody else's brain. The good news is my brain can stay slow. And then when I need to, you to get away all the noise. You don't want to have all this noise. So many variables. This is simple. Look at that. I appreciate everybody still being here. I'm just trying to watch the chart to see when it's going to go down to the next layer or not. To be honest, I want to see if it can ride this out and give us this fortunate movement that can get us to like $1. There's a way to avoid that back test just because we're already going to, in theory, go back down later. Theoretically, we could make a run right to the 200-day, which I would be all for. miss it. Ah, too much fun. Isn't it at least nice though that XRP is moving out? Sorry I'm late. Can you touch on XDC? Aurelia, you're fine. I was gonna log off and then I said, I'm gonna log off and just de-stress with the drums anyhow. I'll just play everybody out. Well, not everybody left. Imagine that. There was 150 people and 85 people stayed around, which is kind of nice. I admire all of you who stayed around, but Aurelia.
Press
Yes.
the drum style button to
Excuse me, Mr. Drums. I'm sorry. 2.24%. Right now, XDC has broken out of the descending wedge. We back tested. We have this little resistance over the top that we need to take out at 3.7. Once we're on top of that, we're golden. What was that? And the technical target out of this expanding, broadening wedge, which is what it looks like from the back, which is what we've been measuring for a while. Should bring us up here somewhere, 4.5 cents in time. Could get us all the way back to the liquidity box, but I don't know. I don't know if we'll have enough strength, but it should at least get us to retest this area, I feel like. Somewhere in here. So that's what I'm looking at, Aurelie. Seems like we're in the midst of a C wave right now, which is good. That's the finishing of this corrective. So it'd keep us from falling real quick. So I think we're fine. Unless that structure breaks. Then we're going to be looking at... It's on us again. Just like it always is. Doesn't matter which way you go. Let's buy crypto and this is what happens. So then you got to just make... we got to make dollar bills out of recyclable cans kind of thing. Like I'm not allowed to play the drums. He says you can't take advantage of your 6-year-old little drum pad. Was anybody into heavy metal here? You remember? When I was a kid, I used to think that was just a double bass. Like, there's no way they can move it that fast. Friday the 13th. What is it? Sorry, I can't watch. The drums are too obnoxious. I'll read the summary later. That's cool. Technically, the show's over anyhow, so, you know, I apologize for being obnoxious. Go watch the other hour and a half before the drums. How about that? There's always a critic in the audience. Is there a class today? There is not a class today. Not until Monday. Monday and Wednesday. Let's see. Nope, you are welcome. I didn't mean to offend people by staying on and de-stressing with my drums, you know. But I apologize. This is what I was going to do after. And I said I can either stay on or I can just log off. And I'll log off in a minute. I said, you know, we'll run people out of here. Run people out. I can't talk for 6 hours in a room. I mean, I probably could. I mentioned I like to be a perfectionist when I do something. And the beat goes on. It always goes on. That's the beauty of music. It can always go on. With little simple variations. Whoops. I always forget because I don't have the bass. Which is in the heavy metal. Alright, anyhow. I think I'll call that a day. But growing up, Travis Barker was a huge influence on trying to move your hands that quick. Because he can do things with the drumsticks on that drum pad, like holy smokes. Him, Phil Collins. I like the drummer from Led Zeppelin and a couple different others. I liked well, I'm missing a few obviously. But there's some really, I like the A Day to Remember's drummer. He's very underrated, but he's got that double bass magic. Oh, it's magical. Sounds like I missed the concert. Drums. Oh, you didn't get to see it, Nick Nack? Oh, what? I'm never opposed to hitting it for just 1 second. I wouldn't want to make you rewind. Wouldn't want to make you rewind. I was just saying, like, does anybody remember like the heavy metal days? But I can just do something basic real quick. I just think that was a double bass. It can be, But apparently you don't even need to play the double bass, dude, if you can move your hand fast enough. It's like most people use the 2 hands to do that kind of a fill. You don't need 2 hands, that's only one. As long as you got something else to play with. I used to always wonder, like, what the hell, they got 5 hands? How are they doing that? They're hitting the snare, they're hitting that. What the hell is going on in between? How is it possible? Guess it doesn't help my case that I'm not a wizard. But there was a lot of cool ones. But then, like, the rock era was so easy. I used to love when people, like, play rock. Or you had the... What was it? And then they'd get frisky. You had a lot of famous songs where all they did was this. Oh no, it was... But I personally like the ones that were like, you just hear them and you're like, how are they doing that there? Travis Barker get into a solo, he'd be like, holy shit, the hell's that guy on? My lord. Then you get in there and he'd be going upside down on the stage and he'd start out with something basic, like, where's this going? He'd just be like... And then you start listening to him and he starts to swirl, you're like, oh my god, I can't keep up. Slow down, Travis. Can't keep up, you're upside down. Then you get into the heavy metal, and then you got I Swear a Day to Remember was the best. I always used to think that was the double bass. It was not. For some, it might have been. It's not a double bass. It was never a double bass. I got good with the double bass before I could move my hands like that, and I had to do it with my feet. You know, I can just do this. It's so annoying. Nothing to do with the feet at all. Nothing. Not a damn thing. That's why they never practiced with the foot pedal. They always had the damn pad. So if I can move my hand fast enough, I don't even need the foot pedal. That's why when Travis Barker broke one of his arms, he sounded good. I mean, I don't even know how he did it with one arm. People think it's like you're doing something completely different. You're really not. You're just going fast to slow. It's like, I'm going to go slower. I think if you go slower, it's not like that. That would be more like... Oh, no, it's not. It's not even the roll. That's not even right. That's the basic. So this is basic. You always see somebody who doesn't really know how to play, they'll start with this. What you want to hear is... That's what you want to hear. You know you can hire them if you hear this. They come in with this. It's great. Sounds fine. That's just basic rock. You want them to knock your dick off. When I go into an interview, I don't come in with this. Anybody can do that. Even a basic beat. I come in with. See the difference? You want to bring some heat. Tom beats to his own. I do. I'm just surprised there's 76 people. I didn't want to leave. We're still bullish right now in these 30-minute candles. I just couldn't talk anymore. I said it. I said I just can't talk anymore. Who says we can't play? We're playing the beat for XRP. Quit with the nonsense. Thank you, J-Rod. If you don't want to hear nonsense, go back to the actual live when I was talking for an hour and a half almost. Nobody says you have to be here. There's always a skeptic. There's always a skeptic in the crowd. Always a skeptic. Imagine we can't even get outside ourselves for 1 second and just enjoy the moment. Says, what can I get from him? He's not giving me what I want. So I've already given you everything you need for the morning. Just look in front of you. I don't even have to say anything. It's right in front of you. Sorry, J-Rod. Tom's a dick. Quit with the nonsense. Maybe this is my way to deal with all the criticism. Ever think about that? Ever think about sometimes when you deal with all the nonsense, you got to do something to deal with it, huh? Ever think of that? I could simply log this off, but I think I'm like them to get all the bad mojo out. This is all the bad mojo. See, now you might not come back next time. I don't need that negativity. You could simply say, ah, I'm out. Or you could say nothing at all and turn the volume down. But okay, I've done enough. I feel good now. I think knick-knack, paddywhack, give a dog a bone. Got to retrieve his and been able to watch a little bit of extra. But like, I don't understand why so many people get so angry. Why are you guys so angry? You know, life is going to pass us by, and if you're so angry all the time, it doesn't work. You know? That's the whole point. We need to slow down. Like, oh my God, I don't like what he's doing. Okay, go somewhere else. That's a perfectly fine thing. It's a perfectly fine thing. You know what's even better? You take that energy, and if you think you can hit people better in a good way, create some content so I can come watch it. What the hell was that? What was that? Because there's a lot, we had snow and stuff, it's melting off the roof. It was literally a big ice thing that was sliding off the roof. So you could hear it sliding down. My grandma always said, if you don't have anything nice to say, then don't say anything at all. That's pretty nice. No, actually, there's like from all the snow and ice we had, it's melting, and now it's it was sliding off the roof. There was a big piece that slid down. I know, I was wondering the same thing. I had to walk outside to go to the side of the house. Nothing at the window. But yeah, we had some weird weather. We had a lot of rain, a lot of snow, a lot of ice, and now today it's at, what's the temperature right now? 29 degrees, but the sun's been out, so. But yeah, XRP right now, pretty nice. $1.4222. When we first came on this morning, XRP was at $1.36. What was it, at $1.36 when the live started, roughly? I think it was either $1.36, $1.37, because we were basically even. And now we're at 4.35%, which is excellent to see. It's always nice to see in the moment when things are starting to move up in the direction where it looked like it was setting up. Because you can never quite tell, you know, it's never a guarantee. Especially in these markets. There's no guarantee, so nice to see. That wasn't it, it was just James. Yeah, I wonder how James is doing. Although with all these names messed up, it's who knows, James could be lurking, I don't even see him. Sola Jeffy, thanks for being in town 3+ months with the XRP Meteor. I greatly appreciate you, my friend. Greatly appreciate. Yes, I certainly beat to my own drum. It's the only way I know. Oh yeah, the ice is starting to fall off my roof. I can hear it. I'm gonna have to go out there and pull that piece off. But yeah, that was a big piece of ice. But I'm gonna go out there and I'll probably pull that down myself. But be blessed, everybody.